We're going to ban the worst agricultural chemicals that are already prohibited in other countries.
Hello and welcome to the Doge and Maha News Channel. My name is Chris. In this video, we're going to focus on Make America Healthy Again. And if you're like me, I am on this journey. I am still learning a lot about this issue, a lot about food and the corruption in our food system, as well as the corruption in our medical systems that go along with that, as well as like corruption in the FDA and the NIH. In this video, we're going to look at RFK Jr. and him talking about the USDA. Okay, so this is a really short video. It's almost like a commercial. This was actually posted before the election, but he packs a lot of information in here, and it's really good information, so let's go ahead and check it out. Also, I always post a link to the original videos down below, so if you do want to check that out, go for it.
Hi, this is Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and I'm here outside of the United States Department of Agriculture to tell you about a win-win policy that I'll be pushing in the Trump administration. It's a win for farmers, for consumers, and for the environment. And the purpose is to make America healthy again. America's current ag policy is destroying America's health on every level. It's destroying the economic health of farmers by forcing them to get big or get out. Big corporate farms do just fine, while the small and medium family operators are squeezed to the point of collapse.
That's really interesting. I've talked to some local farmers as well, and they are really struggling. It seems like there's so many regulations and requirements for them, and there seems to be a lot of roadblocks. Like I know a local farmer that has a lot of pork, and it's really difficult for him to have that pork processed and distributed to local markets and things like that, just because there's so many roadblocks. So I don't know all the technical details, but it definitely seems like there are incentives for the big corporate farmers to flourish, and disincentives or roadblocks for the smaller mom and pop family owned farms.
It also destroys the health of America's soil and water by tilting the playing field in favor of more chemicals, more herbicides, more insecticides, more concentrated monocrops and feedlots. And
that's what we need. We need more insecticides, more herbicides.
finally, it destroys the health of consumers. Not only do the chemicals pollute our bodies, the same way that they pollute the soil, but corporate interests have hijacked the USDA's dietary guidelines to make natural, unprocessed foods barely an afterthought. That's one reason why 70% of the American diet now consists of ultra-processed food. We're going to change.
70% of the American diet consists of ultra-processed food. That's unbelievable. It's so true. And I know my kids grew up that way. I mean, we bought everything out of a box, from cereals to mac and cheese. Everything seemed to come out of a box. And I've gone away from that a lot more. I'm getting a lot better in that area. However, it's just so pervasive in all of our foods. Also, he talks about the guidelines that the USDA has for foods. It's really focused on these ultra-processed foods, and like he said, the natural foods are kind of an afterthought in those guidelines, so that really needs to change. And also he talks about all the chemicals that they're putting in, not only destroying our soil, but of course those chemicals that are in the ultra-processed foods are destroying our health.
We're going to give farmers an off-ramp from the current system that destroys their health, wrecks the soil, makes Americans sick, and destroys family farms. We're going to rewrite the regulations to give the smaller operators a break. We're going to encourage sustainable, regenerative farming that can build soil and replenish aquifers.
That's great. I mean, if they can get rid of those roadblocks to give those small family farmers a break and really give them incentives to grow food naturally and to let their cattle, their livestock, their chickens, roam, eat naturally instead of just being in barns and stalls and grain fed, let them get out there and eat some natural food that they would eat out there when they're roaming around. I mean, that's the better meat. It's more healthy. It tastes better.
We're going to ban the worst agricultural chemicals that are already prohibited in other countries.
Why are these chemicals that are prohibited in other countries still allowed to be sprayed on our foods here? That is the biggest question right there. That doesn't make any sense to me. Here we are, the United States of America. We're the wealthiest country in the world, and still we're allowing these chemicals to be sprayed on our foods that are basically outlawed or not permitted to be sprayed on foods in other countries. Why? Let's put a stop to this right now.
And we're going to remove conflicts of interest from the USDA dietary panels and
That's a really great idea. Get rid of those conflicts of interest. There are so many people that are in these organizations like the USDA. They kind of float between big food and then go back to the USDA. They go to big food and then they go to the FDA. They go to big food. So they're going back and forth between the government agencies and these big food corporations. And so obviously there's conflicts of interest. When they get into the government role, they're going to push the agenda of these corporations so that they can get a job with the big corporation, maybe on their board, get a nice fat paycheck, or maybe they're getting paid by both at the same time. So there's a lot of conflicts of interest there, and I really hope that he can get in there and clean that out.
commissions. I've seen some of what America's most innovative regenerative farmers are doing today. They can literally green deserts. They rebuild depleted soils. Wells that had been dry for 30 years start flowing again.
I love that idea because, yeah, the American ingenuity can do anything. Farmers can do all these things. They can regenerate the soil, heal the land, get water flowing again in wells, like he said. So the small farms, the family-owned farms, they can be very creative and do things that will restore the environment and create really good, healthy food.
Heal the land, and some of them make a very good living doing it. But unfortunately, many more have to fight the system in order to do what's right. It doesn't have to be this way. And when Donald Trump gets me inside the building I'm standing outside of right now, it won't be this way anymore. American agriculture will come roaring back, and so will American health. If you want this to happen as much as I do,
yeah, I would love American agriculture to come roaring back, especially the small family farms. If the small family farms are giving the incentives to grow and to prosper, man, we're going to have a lot more of them. All those roadblocks are gone. A lot more people are going to be jumping into that business, and they're going to do a great job of producing healthy food for all of us. And the big corporations, they can continue to do their thing as well. But what's going to happen is the marketplace is going to determine who wins. And you know who's going to win? It's going to be the small family farms because people want the local, healthy food.
please donate what you can to make America healthy again at ahanow.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Man, that actually gets me kind of pumped up. This is one of those kind of a Rocky style of films that gets you motivated, right? But I'm excited to see what he can do when he gets into his position as the Secretary of Health and Human Services. I want to see what he can do, how he can shake things up. He can get rid of the people that are leading these organizations that have all these conflicts of interest, get rid of the regulations that really hurt the small farmers and help the corporate farmers, get the chemicals out of there so that we are not being poisoned, get chemicals out of ultra-processed foods as well. So again, we're not being poisoned, but also get the chemicals out of the farming so that even the, quote, more natural foods are not being poisoned by all these chemicals and herbicides. So I'm really excited to see what he can do, and I think it's going to be a really good thing. So I'm going to go ahead and also leave a link to this mahanow.org. I don't know much about him, but I'll go ahead and leave a link to that in notes below as well. Well, I thought that was a really cool video. Please tell me in the comments below what you think. Are you excited about RFK Jr. and the Make America Healthy Again agenda? I know I am. I really want to have more natural food and that is grass-fed and doesn't have all the chemicals in it, and it's produced locally. I want the small local farmers to flourish. I want the corporate farms to go away. But I want that done through the marketplace, not done through regulations. But definitely, if they can balance it so that the roadblocks are taken away from the small farmers so that they can flourish and be successful, then that's great. So I'm really excited to see that happen. If you want to follow along, I'm going to report every single day on Maha News as well as Doge News. So if you're interested in these topics, please make sure you like and subscribe and follow along. So if you do want to see more videos on Make America Healthy Again, I do have a playlist, so you can go ahead and check out that playlist right here. But I have a bunch of videos, but also subscribe and hit that notification bell, because every single day I'm going to post more videos about Make America Healthy Again and the Department of Government Efficiency. All right, thanks a lot for watching, and take care.